morning. This is Kasturi Day. Today, I'll going to discuss the matter chapter in chemistry, the question answer series. Okay, so let me start with today. I'm starting with the name the change of state during the following changes. Okay, what is the change of state taking place during the following changes, like formation of the clouds? What change of state is happening in this formation of clouds? It happens that first, due to evaporation, liquid change into gas. Liquid, that is water, that changes into gas and then it evaporates, and after that the condensation takes place, that is gas changes to liquid, that is water droplets, to form clouds. So two types of changes are taking place in this formation of clouds. Then drying of wet clothes. Drying of wet clothes, there is evaporation taking place, that is liquid changes into gas, that is water of the wet clothes changes into gas and it evaporates, water vapor, that is. Naphthalene balls become smaller when kept in air. Here sublimation process takes place, because naphthalene balls, they sublime and absorbing the heat from the surroundings and it changes into gas, vapor. Okay, so directly changes into vapor without melting. So this is sublimation process taking place here. Then formation of snow. Freezing of the liquid takes place, like a liquid changes into solid. Then when melting, that means melting of wax when kept in sunshine. What happens when it is kept in sunshine? Then the solid wax, that changes into liquid by absorbing the heat of the sun. So there is melting process taking place. Okay, next question is, list the main postulates of the kinetic theory of matter. The main postulates of kinetic theory of matter is, it is composed of very small particles known as atoms or molecules. Okay, the constituent particles of a kind of matter are identical in all respects. These particles have spaces or gaps between them which are known as interparticular or intermolecular spaces. Okay, so the constituent particles of the matters, they are identical in all respects and they have interparticular or intermolecular spaces between them. That there exists a force of attraction between the particles of matter which holds them together. Okay, that is known as interparticular or intermolecular force of attraction. The more closer to it, the more will be the more closer the will be I mean the more the gap, the more less is the gap, the more force of attraction will be more. Okay, the more will be the force of attraction. So the more will be the force of attraction of the molecules. Then the particles of matter are always in a state of random motion and they possess kinetic energy which increases with the increase in temperature and vice versa. That is, when the particles are always in a motion, random motion, and that's why they have kinetic energy. Okay, and this kinetic energy increases when we increase the temperature of the body, that is of the matter. Okay, and the opposite condition takes place, that is when we decrease the temperature of the body or the matter, the kinetic energy also decrease. The kinetic energy of the particles of matter or the molecules of the matter, they decreases. Okay, so next question is, state the law of conservation of mass and how can you verify this law by using barium chloride and sodium sulfate solution. So according to this law, mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. So this law states, according to the law of conservation, it states that mass can neither be created nor can be destroyed in a chemical reaction. Now, to verify this law, we need to take a conical flask which is 10 milliliter and a 10 milliliter test tube, two measuring cylinders, thread, cork, weighing balance, barium chloride solution and sodium sulfate solution. So these things are required for this experiment. Now then 5 ml of sodium sulfate solution is taken in the measuring cylinder, that is, and poured in the conical flask. In the conical flask, we take 5 ml of sodium sulfate solution by measuring it in a measuring cylinder and pour it into that conical flask. Then 5 ml of a barium chloride solution is taken in another measuring cylinder, and then it is poured into the 10 ml of test tube. Now the test tube is tied with a thread and hanged in the flask carefully so that it does not spill into the solution, does not mix with that solution, with the two solutions does not mix together. Now the cork is then put in the mouth of the test tube so that the thread holding the test tube is held firmly in its place. Okay, then the conical flask is weighed carefully by the weighing balance with the test tube containing the this barium sulfate solution. Okay, so all these things together are weighed by the physical balance, and then the reading is noted to get the mass of the conical flask and the substance. Okay, then the flask is tilted so that the barium chloride solution mixes with the sodium sulfate solution. Then a white insoluble precipitate of barium sulfate is formed. Okay, so barium chloride and the sodium sulfate mixes together after tilting the flask, and then a precipitate of white insoluble solid of barium sulfate is formed along with the solution of sodium chloride. Okay, then after completion of the reaction and settling down of the precipitate, the flask is again weighed and the reading is then noted. And now it is observed after this completion of the experiment, after weighing it finally, then we see that the total mass of the apparatus plus the reactants, that is when the barium chloride and the sodium sulfate solution were separate with the conical flask, it is weighed. When the first it was weighed, the mass which we noted, and the total mass of the apparatus, and after the reaction the products which are formed, this mass, both the masses are equal. So this law is the law of conservation of mass is then proved. Okay, so barium chloride, according to the equation, the barium chloride aqueous solution is mixed with sodium sulfate aqueous solution to form barium sulfate precipitate and sodium chloride solution. Okay, and these two masses, that is the mass of the reactants and mass of the products, are same. Okay, so this is the diagrammatic representation of the above experiment. Okay, see, this is the conical flask, this is the test tube containing barium chloride solution, and the conical flask is containing the sodium sulfate solution, and after that it is hanged with the thread. This barium chloride is hanged with the thread, and then this after this setting of the apparatus, we weigh it, and after that when we tilt this flask, the two things mixes and the product is formed, that is barium sulfate with the sodium chloride solution, and then again it is weighed, and after that it is seen that both the masses are same. Now define the intermolecular forces of attraction. A force of attraction exists between the particles of matter which holds them together. This force of attraction is known as interparticular or intermolecular force of attraction. Now what are the three states of matter? Define each of them with two examples. See, the three states of matter are solid, liquid. Solid is a state of matter which has a definite shape and a definite volume. For example, wood, stone, iron, ice, etc. Then liquid is a state of matter which is a definite volume but no definite shape. Okay, for example, water, alcohol, mustard oil, milk, etc. It takes the shape of the container. Now gases is the state of matter which has neither a definite shape nor a definite volume. It takes the shape of the container and also the volume of the container. So for example, air, hydrogen, oxygen, water vapor, etc. Next we come to explain the interconversion of states of matter. What are the two factors responsible for the change of the state of matter? So interconversion of state of matter is a phenomenon in which one state of matter changes to another and then back to its original state without any change in its chemical composition. Its chemical composition is not changed during an interconversion of states of matter. That is known as interconversion of states of matter. The two factors responsible for this is by the change in temperature and by change in pressure. Okay, if you change the temperature, the one state, that is matter, changes from one state to another, and if you change the pressure also, it changes from one state to another. Then What happens to water if it is kept in a deep freezer or if it is heated? Explain the phenomena of the change of state of water. Okay. Water gets cooled and changes into ice at 0 degree centigrade. We know that. So that is known as freezing. Okay. So here when it is kept in a deep freezer, a process of freezing takes place. That is, it is a process by which a substance in a liquid state changes into solid. Okay, that is known as freezing or solidification. So water gets into changes into ice. Okay, then when water is heated, then when water is heated to 100 degrees centigrade, it changes into steam. Okay, so this is known as boiling, or this is known as boiling. Okay, so or vaporization, you can say. It is also the process by which a substance in the liquid state changes into gas at a fixed temperature. Okay, so that is known as boiling. Now give reason. A gas can fill the whole vessel in which it is enclosed, or when magnesium is burnt in air, there is an increase in mass after reaction. See, when a gas is filled in a whole, when a gas is filled, the whole vessel is filled when it is enclosed. Okay, because in gases the molecules are free to move. Okay, and they are not stuck to each other because their intermolecular force of attraction is least in the gases. That's why they fill up the whole vessel. Then when magnesium ribbon is burnt in air, a white solid magnesium oxide is formed. Okay, that the mass of magnesium oxide is more than the mass of magnesium. Okay, it is so because the mass of oxygen used is not taken, because we are burning it in air, so the oxygen of from the air is not calculated. That's why we see that the mass of magnesium oxide is more than the mass of magnesium. Okay, if we consider the oxygen part and with along with the mass of magnesium, then we will see the total mass of the reactants and the products are same. Okay, now give two examples of each of the following. The substances which sublime, iodine and camphor. The substances which do not change their state on heating, diamond and graphite. Then define diffusion and Brownian motion. Diffusion is the intermixing of two or more substances due to the motion of their particles from their higher concentration to their lower concentration. Okay, this is known as diffusion, uniform mixture, forming an uniform mixture from their higher concentration to their lower concentration. Brownian motion is the haphazard random motion of the suspended particles of the surface of a liquid or in air, that is known as Brownian motion. Random motion, okay, the particles are moving randomly, that is known as Brownian motion. Then when sodium chloride is added to a definite volume of water and stirred well, a solution is formed that there is no increase in the level of water because there is some space between, that is due to the intermolecular spaces which are present in the water, and the salt particles, they accommodate themselves inside those intermolecular spaces. That's why the water level does not rise. Okay, what do you observe when a gas jar which appears empty is inverted over a gas jar containing bromine vapors? Okay, name the phenomena. It is the diffusion phenomena is happening, and it is observed after some time that the reddish brown vapors of bromine also spread out into the upper jar. Okay, now, why can a piece of chalk be broken easily into smaller pieces while a coal piece cannot be broken easily? Because in a piece of chalk, the force of attraction between the particles, that is intermolecular interparticular attraction, force of attraction is much less. That's why they can be kept together, but it can be broken than the in case of coal there is much more force of attraction. That's why it is difficult to break them into small pieces. Okay, so this is the end of this matter chapter, chemistry chapter, question answer series. Please go through this. If you have any doubt, please do write in the comment box, and also do subscribe to get the notification of my next video, and do share with your friends, okay, so that they can also be benefited from these videos. Thank you for watching.